The number of deaths as a result of the gas tanker explosion which occurred Thursday night on Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way, opposite Sheraton Hotels and Towers, Ikeja, Lagos, has increased to 5. 2 of those injured during the explosion and taken to hospitals are reported to have died. Recall that 3 bodies were recovered from the scene earlier on. Update is from the National Emergency Management Agency (NEMA). It was reported earlier that 13 people were injured while 25 vehicles were burnt. 4 of the injured persons were said to have been transferred from the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital Lasut to Bond Center General Hospital Gbagada in view of the severity of their conditions. The explosion, which occurred at 10:32 p.m., followed alleged leakage while on motion. The fire that resulted, NEMA said, traveled with the wind to the premises of Ogun State Property Investment Company (OPIC) Plaza besides Sheraton Hotels and Towers. OPIC Plaza houses different commercial outfits, including a Chinese restaurant. The fire was put out at about 12:30 a.m. Friday after the concerted efforts of 5 fire trucks from Lagos State Fire Service and 2 trucks from Lasema Response Unit.
Never expected that the extent of damage would be this enormous. So my primary concern here is not so much of what we have lost in terms of properties, but the lives that have been lost. And I'm here primarily to with the families, not particularly to grant an interview, because I'm in a very bad state of shock right now.
So if people want to know how soon businesses will commence here, because a lot of them, we saw them, of course, they are still in shock, they're outside.
Just like we, the landlord. That cannot be said here because it's a process. The Lagos State Lasema needs to carry out what is called the assessment of the extent of damage. Until we get this report, not only that, they're also going to carry out what is called the integrity test on the building to know whether we can still accommodate the tenants, or we ask all of them to evacuate all of them until when the building is put back into habitable use. So that question cannot be answered here.
So from the information at your disposal, sir, we want to know how did this event happen from what you have been doing since you got here?
Yeah, what I have been made to understand is that a tanker carrying LPG, liquefied natural gas, was passing through our premises, and it had a breakdown. Then the head of the tanker and the body, were disconnected, and because of that, gas started leaking. So in that process, I think the restaurant we have here, the Chinese restaurant, they were having they were preparing food at that time. So the wind blew the gas up to the end of the building where the kitchen is located. That primarily, I think, is the cause of this fire incident.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Well, let me first make an introduction here, because it's very important for us to know who are here for the record, so that you can know that right here, first and foremost, let me start with myself. I'm the Commissioner for Special Duties, Tayo Bangbushi Martins. We have the Commissioner for Physical Planning, is here, Town Planner Salako is right here. We also have the Commissioner for Police, is right here himself, Odumosu is here. We have the Permanent Secretary Fiscal Planning, she's here. And we have the Director of Fire Services. We have the Director General of Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, the Director General of Safety Commission, and also by my side, we have the Managing Director of OPIC, that's from Ogun State. So I can let you know that we are all on ground. We've all gone there to assess. We've listened to the reports, the technical reports, the eyewitness accounts. We've looked at everywhere, and we seem to understand exactly what happened. But then there will be ongoing investigations, further interrogation, and before we come up with a full and comprehensive report.
What do you think we need to do as a state to prevent future occurrence of this kind of abuse?
Let's first understand what happened. From accounts, what happened is that we had a gas truck that broke down on the road, just opposite where we are now, on the main road. So to start with, was there supposed to have been a gas truck there? No. The next thing that happened is that we had a leakage from that gas truck, which means that the safety measures that should have been in place on that gas truck were not in place. Then the next thing is that you now have air moving the gas towards this direction. That's behind us. That is the flow of the direction of the gas. But then you find out that at OPIC, right behind there where we visited, there was heavy cooking going on there. Naturally, there was heavy cooking, there was heavy activity going on there. That means there was fire there. That means there was, again, there was some gas cylinders, huge ones, that are there. At the same time, there's a huge generator. There was a huge generator there. So what the situation was that we had heavy leakage of gas waiting to be ignited. So ignition came from down there. And that is why when you get there, you will see that the effect was devastating, very devastating all the way there. And what happened now is that when the gas was ignited, it came back to this direction and affected every vehicle that was here. Of course, lives were lost. We had about 13 people rescued, but we understand even right now that out of the 13 people, maybe 2 of them have gone. We've lost 2 of them, which means that even if we talk about rescue, we've not been able to rescue more than 11. We've recovered 3 bodies again this morning. The bodies we've asked Semu is on ground, and they've started moving them away from here. So when you ask the question, what are we to do about it? It is clear. We're talking about safety standards. These are things that actually deal with NLNG. I'm not going to talk here and start holding anybody responsible directly right now, but you can be rest assured that the Lagos State government is not going to let this just go and pass by. I can tell you that. I can even tell you for the record purpose that already there's been a committee that's been working with NNPC, DPR, the oil and gas sector in respect of such matters like this. It's currently headed by the Commissioner for Energy. And this is going to be one of the incidents that we're going to consider there. We've had a request from the MD OPIC requesting that he should also be part of that committee. We're going to extend an invitation to him so that we can look at this incident and come up with, like you said, measures that have to be taken to avert such situations like this. Well, on behalf of my colleagues here, would like to make a statement, but then I must be able to express our condolence again, first and foremost, to the Ogun State government, which the MD of OPIC would transmit to the governor of Ogun State, and more particularly to the families of those that lost their lives. Our condolence as the state government, we express that. And we pray that may their souls rest in peace.
Definitely. Investigation will reveal. So fortunately, those that loaded the truck now from their depots, they are already around. The DPR around, so the NLGC around, so the gas companies are around, and equally the company that owns the truck itself. So investigation will reveal. And those in charge of that area will find out why was the safety measures not taken. If adequate measures have been taken professionally, by now, this would have happened. So they are going to do that, and they go communicate that into their report and policies before by government. Our own is just to enforce. So anything that comes in, and where our professional advice is sought, so we present to them.
They are not addressing us. Nobody has said anything. We don't know whether there's going to be any compensation or whether we're on our own. We are not really expecting much. This is Nigeria. Everybody go and count your losses, and we're on our own. But we expect at least that we should have been addressed. They should have told us what the next step is. Is this place going to be closed down, or what is the next step? What compensation or what is going to happen? We don't know. But I've lost about at least 10 to 15 million in damages. And well, thank God for life anyway. Yeah. Yeah, from the eyewitness account, they said a liquefied truck, gas truck, broke down in front of the OPIC Plaza, and there was a leakage, and of course it's a liquid leakage, so it came into the plaza and it took everything, it passed, including all the cars. And I think that's what now caused the explosion in New China, because they had factory gas equipment. So it took the gas and it caused the explosion. And apparently there's a lot of maybe 3-4 dead bodies. I don't know exactly how many, but several people have been taken to Lasut with various degrees of burns. I thank God for life, but my office was also boggled, and several things taken away, laptops and all that. But we just thank God for life. Yeah. My name is Sean Peters. I'm the MD of Rolling Video Games and Southwest Pacific Solicitors. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Margaret Abimbola Adesheye, the Director, Lagos State Fire Service. Yesterday night, we received an emergency call around 22:35 hours in the evening that there was an explosion along Ikeja. So on getting here, I quickly turned out fire stations, 3 fire stations altogether at a go. On getting here, we found out there was a truck with the gas content in front, a faulty truck in front of Opit Plaza, Ogun State, beside Sheraton Hotel, Ikeja, Lagos. On getting there, the fire officers discovered that it was a massive explosion. So as a result, they cannot enter into the premises at that point in time. They carry out what we call starvation. Starvation is to protect other properties and to make sure they condone the road for the vehicle not to come and increase the numbers of the casualties in order to prevent that. So when I got here, I came down myself. When I got here, we came in, we were able to fight the fire. The fire was out. We carried out inspection. The vehicle involved, we find out that there were 24 vehicles of different make and design involved in the calamity. And aside that, we rescued 13 and 3 were dead from this building. But the station operation is still ongoing. We will carry out the station operation until we know that there is nobody, either life or death, still in the building. That is the situation report. Your name, I'm Margaret Abimbola Adesheye, Director of Fire Service.
The most important thing of this, you can see that at this last operation, our response was swift, prompt, effective and efficient, and that is why, despite the magnanimity of this incident, we are able to rescue 13 people alive. Now, let's look at the preliminary things that happened. People were just shouting, going left, skater, giving unnecessary information. I say it loud and clear. In Lagos State, the emergency number is 112767. When you activate our 112767, will be right there, anywhere in Lagos State. So I appeal to the good people of Lagos State. In any form of emergency or disaster, they should remain cool, calm, and collected. They should never panic. They should realize that you have a government in place. The government of Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu has placed safety of life and properties paramount to this administration, and we will work with all the team to achieve this goal.
So has anybody been able to identify the truck that caused?
Yeah, we have identified it. We have taken it to where we are going to do forensic investigations, physical investigations. We are going to be empirical with it so that we will prevent such occurrence. Now, let's look at it. Which means when you look at the vehicle, a vehicle that contains that pilot gas should have a lot of safety measures in place. We will look at what happened to the safety measures. Where are the vibes? These are the questions that are going on with the technical people. But, however, you need to give kudos to the first responders, because despite the location of this place, despite the time it occurred, we are between the petrol station and hospitality facilities. We are able to curtail the fire and we put it off.
All right. Thank you very much,
My name is Ibrahim Fariloye, Coordinator, National Emergency Management Agency, Lagos Territorial Office. Well, we received distress alert of explosion yesterday around 10:45 that there was an explosion. So the person did not tell us the nature of the explosion. So, however, we made contact with people around, but the police command control room was able to establish that it was a tanker explosion in front of Sheraton Hotel Ikeja. So based on this, we had to mobilize resources, especially fire service, then we move in. In the whole process, we were able to establish that the tanker, it was alleged that the tanker valve disengaged from the body. So the proton started moving. And on the highway, vehicles were just passing. So from that point, the product took over the whole way, atmosphere and traveling with the wind. This is a Chinese restaurant, this OPIC facility. So based on what we don't know, maybe the gas from the major road got to the kitchen of the Chinese restaurant, explosion happened. At the end of the emergency phase yesterday, 13 people were rescued alive with various degrees of burns. However, out of these 13, 9 are male, 4 female. So they were treated at the Lazut. Around 2:30 a.m., 4 of them were referred to Burn Center, General Hospital, Bagada. From there, we made head counts. We made head count of those of the occupants. Nobody told us anybody was missing. Unfortunately, this morning when we got there, we were able to recover 3 dead bodies. Staff of the Chinese restaurants were recovered, and we have done all the search in all the rooms. Everywhere is free.